Baby.
Hi.
Baby. You know what time it is.
I hope it involves something
It's
nerd
Studio
towards
Johnny Q time. That means it is time to drop your nerd roll, baby.
Excellent.
I don't know exactly what that means, but I'm sure it's sexy.
I'm sure it's sexy as well. Thank you for that, Smoothie. All right. Hail and well met, fellow time travelers. We're going to try this once again. We have Johnny Q of Studio Johnny Q. We have Randy with us remotely, I believe. Randy?
Hello.
And this is take 2 because of Randy's due diligence. He recognized that I had not hit all the proper buttons on the screen. So we are back again. We've got Tater in chat. Hey, Tater. Good to see you, my friend.
What's up, Tates?
Tate. All right. Let's take a look here and see what we are working with. As far as I had a really good time with Rocket League last night, so we can go ahead and that is a talking point, so we can go ahead and lead with that. Let's here if I do. And I meant it when we stopped this, and I said that I hadn't had so much fun losing in a long time, and that was definitely the truth. That's the kind of game I've been looking forward. Something I can play with other people that we're losing is fun. How was your experience with it, Randy? Did you enjoy yourself?
Good times. Yeah, I always enjoyed it. Need to practice some more and maybe play around with the controller layout.
Yeah.
So stop feeling like chicken with its head cut off or something. But I have a overwhelming tendency to hit some of the wrong buttons for the wrong things because, I think my movement is supposed to be normal joystick type movement, like in most games and stuff. But that's different in this game. Like you use the trigger buttons for back and forward instead of your joysticks and stuff. So
I gotcha.
I'll be using my joystick and then realize, okay, that's not going to do anything for me. Actually,
pushing
it's going
forward,
to hinder me
pushing forward isn't making me go forward, is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Why do I keep flipping when I jump? Oh yeah, because I'm trying to move forward with the joystick instead of.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've played it on so many different devices that they all have a slightly different feel. So the first thing that I have to do is okay, let me remap my buttons, and then let me
my brain.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, that's probably the easiest part. The brain can do it just fine. It's all of me that gets in the way. It's the for me a big one is the joystick sensitivity. That's very different from each of the systems. So that's kind of locking that in. Right now, I still think I have a little bit too sensitive, maybe, and so it causes me to oversteer. But yeah, and then I like to have a goofy combination where you can switch it so that you're always looking at the ball or you're free looking, and there are definitely advantages to looking at the ball, but it gets hard if because there's certain things you can't do if you're always just aimed at the ball. So you can either toggle it on or off, or make it so that if you push a button and hold it, it like looks back, but if you let go, then it looks forward again. And I like combining that button with the power slide, so that whenever I'm sliding, I'm looking at the ball. So, because usually if I'm trying to do a power slide, it's because the ball's behind me and I need to slide. So that's something that I like to play around with. And then figuring out what's a good one for your boost versus your jump, and the power slide, all that stuff. So yeah, it was fun. I've openly admitted that I can't play Rocket League with randos because all of humanity, really.
Hey, don't say randos. It sounds like you're talking about me.
Well, I meant those other randos. And but so even when I mentioned to Carrie, it's like, we're gonna play some Rocket League. She's like, you're not allowed to play Rocket League, are you? I can't because it's not with random internet strangers. So okay, we'll see. So it was really great to just get in. It's like I realized that it scratches a similar itch for me of playing pool, right? Because it's like my favorite thing to do isn't necessarily to win the game. It's to make a couple of cool shots along the way. And, some weird fun angles, or to make a good, defensive stop, or, great pass or something, and it's like, that was a lot of fun. And that's what, I think Tater had mentioned a couple times. It was like, we may have lost the game 8-2, but it didn't feel like it, because it felt like we were still being competitive, and it wasn't like, it's just like, this is impossible. And every game had some really great moments in it. So Tater's saying that he might need to mess with his joysticks because he feels sluggish. Yeah, there's a thing too that's on the settings that has to do with the joystick dead zone. So how far you have to move the joystick before it actually starts to respond, and so maybe making that smaller, but there's a ton of adjustments that they allow you for that. That scale is like, when I was sliding the sensitivity, it was like I slid it like zzz, and it was just like, that was maybe 10% of the way that I could slide it, and it was like, that still wasn't enough. So I was like, another zzz. I mean, literally like 5 seconds of moving the slider, but there was some good things and some bad things, but progress. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. And too, it's just has to do with when I have been playing with internet strangers, what happens is you're hoping to hop on, find a couple of people who you play well enough with, and then you get to play for 20 minutes or so with those people. That's about the best case scenario that you can hope for. And it's like, again, it won't necessarily matter if you're winning or losing. It's a group of people that you feel uncomfortable playing with. And it felt very comfortable playing with you guys right off the bat, which was nice. So.
Totally.
Yeah. It's just like, it was just about getting together, and we were still, invested in the game. It wasn't like, it didn't matter. It's like, whatever. But, we're all like, oh. But still, it was just like, yeah. We just got spanked 8-1. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm normally not very vocal. I'll stay silent and just listen to people. But yeah, when I'm playing that game, I'm like, very vocal.
You are very vocal.
Make a lot of noises.
Yeah.
Damn it! Oh God.
And I don't know if you realize it, you talk a ton of smack too.
What? What are you talking about?
You'll talk a ton of smack. You'll be like, because we're just even playing like the computer and stuff, but you'll be like, oh yeah, take that.
Oh. Well, okay. I never thought of it as smack, but yeah, all right.
I mean, if it would have been a human, if you'd be saying that thing against a human, so computer smack.
Yeah, that's true.
Answering your question, a snack is a small service of food and generally eaten between meals.
Thank you, Alexa. I wasn't sure. Including packaged snack foods and other
snack.
I thought you were talking about snack. Here you're talking about snacks.
Traditionally,
Whoa!
snacks
That's
are
a whole different
Computer,
conversation.
stop! Computer, that was the longest explanation for anything. Snack is like an
He's got a
abbreviated.
lot.
I could be finished with 12 snacks by the time I would have got finished with that explanation.
She's got a lot to say about snacks.
Yes, that's all. I may not be a smart man, Jenny, but I know a lot about snacks. All right. So, one of the things I did want to mention, we can keep talking about Rocket League, but as I'm working towards doing some of our crafting stuff, I did finally find our bendy straw stash. So, with this, means that we will be able to do our stovepipe. I'm going to use this for our stove pipe in the top. Also, I want to, after looking at our windows, I think I want to maybe put some drapes on them on the outside, some outside drapes. And then I was thinking in the back here, putting a little flower box, window box with flowers. And I think we can do that. So,
Or you want drapes on the outside, or you want like
no,
what are they called?
I don't want the shutter boards or whatever.
Shutters.
Yeah, I don't want shutters. I want drapes. I don't know. It's not traditional to do that, but gypsies are not traditional, or these people, the baggards.
Careful what you say, brother. You don't know who's listening. You might get cursed. Might offend somebody.
No, I'm not that in a good way, man. Not the best way possible.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they're bold with their color choices and their design choices, so it's like, you know what? I thought it's something that we can try. But so yeah, I think then if we put a little window box here, and we can use some of our flocking, then I think we can do pretty good. Let's see if we can get a zoom in here on our lantern. Yeah, you can tell the glass is starting to look frosty now.
Nice.
And again, that was just from rubbing super glue on it. Because it's like, it doesn't look right when it's pristine, where everything else is aged, and you've got this perfectly see-through glass, or plastic, I should say. Trying to see what else we have here.
It's one of the things you do with, like, if you buy a new, like, oil lamp or anything for Halloween decorations. You want to distress it by, like, one good way is to use a candle flame. Use the soot from that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Let the candle flame coat the glass a bit to make it sooty. It adds a nice weathered look to it, nice aged look.
Yeah, I could totally see that. All right, so 3 things we'll be working on craft-wise. I'm going to be working on making this into a chimney pipe. We're going to be working on creating a shadow box in the back, and then potentially, if nothing else, maybe just mocking up some drapes to see what's what. So we'll be working on that while we continue our conversation, so we can resume back to the Rocket League. And like one of the issues that I have with it is just, it seems that the pairing system is so wonky. Because it's like, imagine that you were going and you were playing a game of pickup basketball, right? And, you could be playing with somebody that's, in middle school, or you could be playing somebody that's an Olympic athlete or an NBA professional or, whatever. And, yeah. And, but the thing is that, even if I'm playing against Michael Jordan, his skills are going to be so freaking amazing. But it's nothing like being comparative. It'd be like saying that, like, we're playing basketball, but, like, you're playing against Michael Jordan, who also has a jetpack that he also can control really good. And that's what it's like. And it's just like, well, we're going to put you up with a couple people that are middle school, or we're going to put you up with a bunch of Michael Jordans with jetpacks. And it's just like, like 15. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like you get grouped up with some good people, and it's awesome, and you get grouped up with some bad people, and it's, and there's like, and even if you're playing against groups, sometimes they're really good. There's just some behavior, and it's funny because I have it on to where you can't say anything other than the way to go or good stuff. I don't listen to any of the custom chat. I have that disabled because there's nothing good that can come from that. And even that, it's just funny how some people's behavior is just like, you're just being so douchey on purpose. And you'll get people that won't play, they won't play. And then at the end of it, then they're going to start flying through the air, And it's just like, all right, fine. So, I won't play until I have to, sort of scenario. And it's just like, ugh. So it was just a lot of fun to be able to play with you guys. And yeah, we may, sometime venture in and, if we're all grouped up, play up, and, you get, if you just kind of drop out of the matches that are crappy, because there really isn't a penalty to dropping, and just find a match with some people that you like. And the thing is too, is if you're grouped, then it's not so bad either, because if you're playing with the randos, then you don't know who you're getting on your team, and that can be pretty frustrating. Yeah, I can't even imagine. I'm pretty certain I don't have the testicular fortitude to be able to play a game like COD or first person shooter online. I don't think I have that wherewithal. The tournament. Yeah. And so
COD?
Call of Duty. COD piece. He's been playing a lot of COD piece lately.
Oh, it's a medieval fashion game?
Yeah, it is. It's for preparation for the Renaissance Fair.
Thou shall maketh a mighty codpiece.
Let's see here if we can. Yeah, it is just so funny about people on the internet, man. It's like everybody, I guess, is just hurting so bad that they can't help but try to lash out. Well, they got an opportunity. Let's try this again here. All right, clean the lens. All right, let me turn on the show notes. Here we go. I want to thank everybody for time and attention. By the way, if you ain't yet hit the follow button, all those other buttons that matter, we ask you to please do so. Thanks for that. We had our winner for the Batman giveaway. The Batman, and they have successfully redeemed their code and had it was their responsibility to pay for shipping, and they did that through the website. So I will be working on shipping this promptly. So congratulations. That was little blue pixie on the Twitch handle who won that. So congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah. I need to make a box to ship it in, and I'll be doing that after we finish up here. Yep. We talked about that. We talked about Rocket League. Yep. And possible movie night. That's the other thing I have to talk about. And that's our titular moment. Is movie night. So was talking
We
about
watching 16 Candles.
16. There's nothing wrong with 16 Candles.
Is
Hey there,
that the one with
sexy.
Ducky?
Hey there, sexy girlfriend. Yeah, that is. No, that's Pretty in Pink.
Oh, okay. What about Love
Pre-
Potion number 9?
Love Potion number 99. Barbie and Ken's Day at the Beach 3. Yeah. I wish it wasn't. I wish we weren't streaming on the YouTubes as well right now, because I would pull up the was it Mary Kate and Ashley and that video of them doing the pizza song that they slowed down and turned into a rap. I love that. I love pizza. Next time we're not on the YouTube, so I'll definitely gonna have to bring that up. I have to add it to the jukebox. All right. So, but yeah, so we were talking about D&D and maybe trying to play weekly, but until we get a confirmation on that, I'm looking to, or maybe that would be the backup plan too, is that if enough people can't make it on a weekly, look to do maybe a movie night, but at least a one shot here for nothing else. So we're talking about this Wednesday that either we'll be playing D&D, and if not, we'll be doing movie night. And so I was thinking, I had previously been working on some movies that I wanted to do. I wanted to show some people movies that they might not have seen, some movies that stimulate me mentally, movies that affected me, my thought patterns. And everybody was into it, and we ended up watching it. You ended up watching it as well. We watched Mind Walk. But then we had, of course, the zombie apocalypse descend upon us. And so we ended up changing our plans. And we had a remote movie night, which we wrestled a little bit with some of the technology because, you know, we didn't know what we were doing. We were using Discord, and I was trying to screen share, and I was having a problem figuring out how to screen share some of the applications and so on and so forth. But we ended up eventually getting it to work mostly, and we did a Tenacious D in the Pick of Destiny. And I thought that was a real good pick, no pun intended. Because it was like, oh yeah, comedy, because it's, you know, we can talk over it and we can joke about it, and it seemed like it was well suited. So that's nice. So Tater's saying that he wants us to do Barbie and Ken's Day at the Beach 3, and he says that you know, we don't have to watch the first two to get the story, that you can start on 3 and be fine. So that's good. I'm wrastled. What's wrastled? I want to know what the context of wrastled is. I always appreciate a good wrestling. But yeah, so I thought we could potentially discuss some movies, Randy, that might be good fits today. You have anything that you...
I have to find my list. I think
wrestling.
didn't I initially make a list of ideas for them?
Yes. Wrestling with that technology. All right, let's see here. So we are going to come back here and see. Yeah, and Galaxy Quest, I think, is the is top of the list. And it looks like, reading some things about Discord, Army of Darkness is a really good one. That's a good pick. A lot of the Duke Nukem 3D, he says a lot of things that are directly from Army of Darkness. Hail to the king, baby. Hail to the king. And there's a couple other ones. I don't know. Hail to the king. I know I have several Army of Darkness quotes in my movie clip file that I use for my playlists. All right. Army of Darkness. That is a... You know, we had talked about Pee-wee for a while. Pee-wee's Big Top might be... Or Pee-wee's Big Adventure. That might be a fun one. You know, one that would be interesting, Randy, is that one that we were talking about, that Top Secret I know that you had on your list. Val Kilmer. Weird comedy.
Yeah, we were talking about that. I don't think I've ever seen that one.
It is raunchy.
But it looks good. Looks fun.
Yeah, it was raunchy as I recall. I thought it was hilarious. I was 12 and it tickled every funny bone I think that I had. Alright, so if we're going to do this, let us... Alright. Thinking we do something like that. So let's work on trimming this. Office Space is always a fun one. Or Spinal Tap. Spinal Tap would be one I would enjoy watching with everybody.
You said Spinal Tap, and I was thinking Train Spotting. I was like, what the heck?
Yeah, I like a movie that has a lot of ODs in it. We'll watch Requiem for a Dream, and then we can all just commit suicide afterwards. Alright.
I still haven't seen Idiocracy.
Oh, that would be a really good one. 80s movies. Yeah, Train Spotting, not a fun movie. What kind of movies from the 80s are you talking about? Something like Escape from New York or something like that? Terminator? You thinking that type of movie? Or... Yeah, Escape from New York is a fun one. I like that one. I watched Big Trouble in Little China and didn't like it. I know that's one that's a cult classic that everybody loves, kind of from that time period. That one and Randy
You didn't like it? It's so cheesy.
I didn't like it. No, I didn't. I think that maybe on a subsequent viewing it might help, but. It's one of those things, like, I think that if you've never watched, growing up, if you didn't watch Caddyshack, I think Caddyshack's a hard sell for today's audience. And then I think that if you grew up loving Caddyshack, that you can still watch Caddyshack and it'd be awesome. But I think that new viewers, it's going to be hard. And I think that's the way it was for me, that, you know enough about it that it's not new, but... yet it still is different from your expectations and not necessarily in good ways. And so, yeah, I was not a fan. And
we would experience that a lot with, especially with like cartoons that we loved as kids, and trying to go back and watch now. It's like, oh God.
Yeah, agreed. I'm trying to think about how I want to fix this. Thinking maybe put a nail in and then gluing this on. But I also maybe do a little cardboard square piece that I'm poking through as kind of like flashing. You support flashing, right, Randy?
Yeah, totally.
Hey, what's up, LL? Good to see you, brother.
Hey, buddy.
3 o'clock high. That is a great. That is a great. If I didn't already love you, I'd love you right now. I'd fall in love right now.
I don't know what that is. 3 o'clock.
Yeah, 3 O'clock High. That is a great underground '80s movie that goes under the wire about this guy, and at 3 o'clock that the bully's gonna beat him up after school. And I own it. I haven't seen it in a long time, and I remember that in it that he gives he decides this nerd guy decides that he's going to try to be a badass, and so he's doing a review of a book review, and I think he does a book review on The Happy Hooker or something like that. And it was a good read. I can't remember. There's some really good stuff in that though. But yeah, that's yeah. He'll be on high at 3 o'clock. It's pretty much the same thing. Yeah, so we were just talking about remote movies that'd be good to watch like in a remote session, and we started off a while back where we had one that we did, and it was Tenacious D and a Pick of Destiny, and it worked pretty well. So I think our next one is going to be what's the name of it? We just said it. The Star Trek spoofy. I just had a brain freeze.
Galaxy Quest?
Galaxy Quest. Thank you. Sorry. Confluence of too many ideas all at once. Well, hello there, Dandy. Good to see you. How you doing today? Hail and well met. Alright, so let's get a little piece of cardboard that we can poke through here. This can just be, well, slip. Alright. Oh! You know, I've got this little foil thing I'm just using. And welcome. Glad to have you on in the chat. We're talking movies for a remote movie night. We're talking about some of our favorite 80s movies. So maybe I'll use this. I'll cut a little square of this out. We are working on a wagon. And we've crafted together. This is pretty much all made out of dollar store foam. We've got some wheels that we poached from some Lego sets, some bits and bobs that we've raided from our jewelry cabinet, and using tongue depressors we made a roof. And so right now we are working on some of the accoutrements. I'm going to do a little stovepipe chimney stack there, and I think a flower box. So that's what we're working on at the moment. Alright. Let me see here. Switch our angles. You know, Randy, another one that fits squarely into this that I've never seen before is Buckaroo Banzai.
You've not seen that?
I've never seen Buckaroo Banzai,
I've been meaning to rewatch that. I don't remember that much about it.
I was really shocked.
A pretty odd one, I think.
Yeah, you know, and one, it comes up in Ready Player One, right? And so it kind of brought it back to my consciousness again. But I was surprised to find out that the main lead of that was RoboCop.
Yeah, I don't
And then
know
that
if
guy
I ever
ends
made
up
that connection before you
he
mentioned
and then
it.
he ends up being villains, I think, in most of his career later on. And I was like, I always look at him as kind of like a bad guy, not a good guy. So I was like, this will be interesting. All right, I'm going to try to.
That's true, Tater. But
Oh yeah.
they made some interesting choices in the movie that, and that's not the first time I've seen that, where it just didn't make sense to me why they chose to go that route with it. Like, why did they change that? It didn't make any sense why they would do that. But it was a hard one to work with.
Yeah,
Because there was
of the
so much.
intellectual properties.
JB mentioned like all of just the rights issues with so many references to so many things from the 80s and whatever.
I thought that they did a fun job trying to capture the spirit of the book. I mean, I think the book is way better.
Yeah.
But I think for the task given to them,
plus
I think they did a pretty decent
time
job.
allotment makes a big issue too.
Yeah, but it's like, they didn't do War Games; they did The Shining. That was an interesting, and it was like they might not have been able to get rights to War Games, but they may have had the rights to The Shining, and so you can understand. It's like, oh, okay, I see where that. It wasn't necessarily an artistic choice. It was. Let me see here. Think of something like this.
I was just thinking about War Games earlier. I had a memory of I was playing. It wasn't Rees of Eventide. It was after the turf battles, and there was a guy on there that was trying to convince me that he was a hacker, and he would threaten people that he was going to hack their system, and said that the cops like showed up to his house one time and all this stuff. And then I'm realizing like I'm pretty sure you just described like the plot of War Games in there somewhere. Don't think that's actually you, but like, it didn't actually happen to you.
I had a teacher that told us that he was Gary Gygax. That's true. My social studies teacher told us that he was Gary Gygax. Good times. All right, I think this is going to work. And I like that Tater is like, hey, you know what, Randy? We know what's best for you. You just buy your ticket. You get your juju beans, and we'll tell you when it's time to leave. That's hilarious. Okay, so I think this is going to work, but I do think that I'm going to need to put something in there to make it a little bit more steadfast. So I think an easy thing to do would be a screw. Let's take a look and see here. If we look at our wall of bits and bots, we got a screw tab over here. Yeah, Buckaroo Banzai. That's one that I just... It's definitely square in that... It's like that, real genius. I'm not sure this head's probably bigger than the... That's what she said. I could screw it from the underside, potentially. then it wouldn't matter. Or I could just even glue it. Could just glue it on there. And put I think I like that idea. Okay, so we've got what we need. We got enough to do what we're doing. One of my favorite 80s movies from that time period is John Carpenter's The Thing. That one I think is still enjoyable. It's got some plot holes, but it's pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. All right, so we've got this. Let us see how we want to do this. He is boss in that movie.
Is that the one that takes place in like Antarctica or something at a science station?
Yeah, you and me had watched it not that long ago, Randy. A couple years back, maybe. I tend to watch that movie, I don't know, every 5 years or something, it seems. And I think it's... I can still remember watching that. You know, our local cable when we were kids was called Cube with a Q. And it was this long tethered box, and there were ways and means to hack it so that you could watch free movies. And I can remember being a kid, hacking it, watching a free movie, and that being one of the movies that we watched, and just being in the basement and, you know, midnight watching that movie. It's like, it's got the morphing monsters in it, so you know, it's like it's a thing that's not that thing anymore, and it morphs into something else, and you're like, what the heck? And some of the special effects at that time were pretty crazy. You know, it's like a head that becomes a spider or something. You're like, what did I just see? It captures your imagination and sticks with you. But yeah, that one's good. That one, same thing. I remember watching the first Terminator movie that way, and it really capturing imagination. Escape from New York. And you forget how many movies that Kurt Russell was in that were... So a fan theory is that at the end, when Kurt Russell character gives the liquor to the other guy, that Kurt knew that the liquor was gasoline, and that's how he knew it was the thing. That's interesting. The game, The Thing sequel is really good too. What is that, a PC? I know that there's a board game that they've come out for The Thing that is well regarded. Yeah, and the thing is that for my money, that scene where they're came out for the PS2, that scene where they're testing each other's blood to see if they're the thing, that is just it's just one of the best scenes. It's just really well. It's a great idea, and the tension in that scene is so good, so good. All right, let's yeah, it's just really it's a really good story. All right, So we use some of our tacky, crappy glue. And actually, let's go ahead and put a little bit in our straw hole. Randy, do you have a favorite cable 80s movie? I know your parents didn't let you watch The Devil's Box, but
yeah, we didn't have the cables out in the boonies. It's pretty late when we finally got that. I don't think we had we weren't allowed to watch a lot of stuff. We didn't have a lot of premium channels or anything like that. Breakfast at Tiffany's. I mean, I don't know that show. What are you talking about?
Hey, I said, what about Breakfast at Tiffany's? Oh, I guess it's Tiffany's, not Tiffany's. Tiffany's a drum. All right. Let's see here. Do we want to?
You know what movie we should watch for movie night is On Golden Pond.
Oh, yeah, you're talking, man. Yes. On Golden Pond. I see, and I was going to recommend the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants of the Yaya
Cocoon.
Of the Yaya.
That's pretty deep.
Alright. So I think that's gonna.
I think when we finally did get cable at some point, and I was home alone on Halloween for some reason.
Oh yeah, that one's scary.
The only thing that was on, yeah, I used to have these recurring nightmares too about people trying to break into the house and stuff while I was home alone. And that was, I think, during that same period when this happened, so I was kind of freaked out. And all that was on TV was Friday the 13th, Nightmare Before Elm Street, the Phantasm. It was
I've never seen Phantasm. I know which one it is, but I haven't seen that one. That's the one with the ball, right?
Yeah, the little flying thing with
that makes people's heads explode or something like that.
Hellraiser.
You know what would be a good one to watch, I think, is The Road Warrior.
Tater said Sex in the City.
Yeah, I saw that. Now, the Sex in the City, is that the one where they're in Saudi Arabia or something? Isn't that? I thought I've seen trailers for the Sex in the City movie. I have no clue. I will not let you know that I know anything more than that I know that there was a movie called Sex in the City. I'm not falling for your trick questions. My masculinity is not going to be endangered by your ruse, sir. Your ruse, your cunning attempt to deceive.
Sex in the City took place in New York City.
What's that?
So I'm pretty sure Sex in the City took place in New York City.
Well, the show did, but the movie, my friend, them girls.
They went on a trip.
Yeah, and maybe it wasn't the first one. It may have been the second movie because there may have been a second movie. But do your own fact finding. But
I'm so
computer. What is the premise of the Sex and the City movie?
Sex and the City stars include Sarah Jessica Parker, Kim Cattrall, and Kristen Davis.
Yeah. Okay. That didn't help. I'm pulling on IMDb right now, though. Because we're watching this movie now. Gosh darn it. Gosh darn it. Sex in Das City. There was a second one. 2010. While wrestling with the pressures of life. Here we go.
There was a second Sex and the City movie? Wow.
While wrestling with the pressures of life, they had to go to Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi.
Try to test my gangster, yo. I'm on that. Yeah, I think the premise was that everywhere else in the world that they ran out of shoes, and that was the only place you could buy new shoes, and so they had to go there. And also for sex, for sex links. They had done all this sex in their city, so they had to go to a different city. Something like that.
That's pretty impressive if you sex out New York City.
Well, there are 4 of them, right? So that means that each one of them gets one borough, and then they tag team on, like, I don't know, Staten Island or something like that. Okay, so this is totally going to work. We just need to wait for it to dry. We can remove it and keep working independent. Let's put this over here. There was this, one of the first podcasts I ever listened to was these 2 guys called, I think the name of the podcast was called Double Feature, and the premise was, it started off as if, you know, it had been like you and me or these 2 guys, Randy. The premise would be that I would show you a movie that you've never seen that I have in my collection, and you'd show me a movie in your collection that I'd never seen. And, you know, we would discuss and debate. And so that's what they started with. But then it at least at one point it evolved into what's the weirdest 2 movies that we can put up against each other. So like they watched Tank Girl up against Schindler's List, I think was one of them that they did.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God.
And so, yeah, just the interest of the juxtaposition. Or sometimes they would go through and they watched all the Leprechaun movies, right? So they gave you a breakdown of like all 5. And like I think the 5th one is literally like leprechauns in space. But that was pretty interesting. So it kind of got me thinking about, you know, that sort of thing, as the juxtaposition of movies against each other. What's the plot for the 3rd movie about the shoes and the sex? They've done run out of sex. The 3rd one is that they have to go to the moon because they've done all the sexing on the planet. Sex in the lunar. The world has ran out of shoes and there is no more sex to be found. Nobody is willing to have sex with Kim Cattrall on Earth.
Maybe they get hooked up with SpaceX and try to find the planet that Barbarella went to.
Yeah, they get it it's, what is it? So we call it SpaceX in the city. See what I did there, Randy? Come on, I think SpaceX in the city was watching Willow as a leprechaun. Is that actually Warwick Davis that plays?
Of course it is.
That is. We used to have this joke with our old D&D person. and he would talk about midget porn on occasion, and as you want to do, and he would talk about that there isn't midget porn, like there isn't a midget porn actress, there is the midget porn actress, and he would claim that there's essentially that there's this one, right, and that so it was that she was the only one that did all the. And please confirm that I'm not totally crazy on that, Randy, right? I didn't just make that up. I'm not suffering.
I think it was probably just one that he was a connoisseur of her entire catalog.
See, he says Bridget the Midget. Well, that's what his claim was. That wasn't my claim. It was his claim. He's like, you watch one, you're like, oh, and you watch another one. It's the same one. And yeah, it was Bridget the Midget. And he was saying that. Yeah, he said lots of things. So. We'll protect the innocent on some of the things that were said, if innocence occur. All right. So with this, the next easiest piece that we can work on here will be our flower box. I'm going to get some foam and just whittle it down, I think, to the shape of our box.
I know. We should watch Dr. Doodle and then Old Yeller.
Oof. Good golly. Wow, man. That's tough.
Here's your juxtaposition.
I wouldn't know, but I've had friends tell me that there are indeed others. All right, let's see. We'll do this in a different way. All right, so if we go over here and rate our bits and bobs, our foam, the foam factory. Something's already textured with wood. How much easier does that get?
The original Dune.
Yeah, that'd be a fun one. I own that one.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah, those are. Although that's a little.
You said you haven't seen Flight of the Navigator, right?
No, I haven't. I think.
Spaceballs.
I feel like I should like Mel Brooks movies more than I do. Although I do think that Blazing Saddles
Young Frankenstein
is pretty genius. And, Young Frankenstein. I think I just need to watch them more, to be honest, mate. That might be it. I saw a thing where Gene Wilder was talking about that he had to argue with Mel Brooks, that it was the only argument they ever had, and it was about him doing the Putting on the Ritz song in Young Frankenstein. That he said Mel Brooks thought it was a silly idea. And,
was that on Conan?
Yeah. Did you see it recently?
I've seen it before. I saw the thumbnail for it came up in my feed recently.
Really, just really dear. Gene Wilder, Conan shows him a lot of love, and Gene Wilder seemed very touched by it, I thought. All right. Just doing a little trim here to get a little angle to the dangle. Let's see here. So this is some pieces of wood that I had textured previously already with wire, so it'll do good. I'm thinking we can put it. Now we'll want to clad these pieces. Just use some spare cardboard. Spaceballs on acid once.
All right, I can see that one,
That was
but
not
yeah,
fun.
that was a poor choice, perhaps, with the Ted Bundy on acid. That doesn't sound like a good idea at all.
No. Yeah, I think that would be rather depressing.
Did you lose a bet or something? What was?
All right, let me. I'm gonna make for a better story if you did. All right. Let's see here. Do we have a jar with writing utensils? We should. Well, there's at least one.
JB, did you say that you watched VR5?
I did back in the day.
Is this series? No.
Yeah, I had watched VR5 vaguely, because if I recall, it came out the same time as like the Flash TV show came out, the first iteration of the Flash TV show, and like Sliders and Voyager, I think, came out at the same time. That would have been about. I had just gotten together with my ex, so it would have been probably about 95, 96.
It was Laurie Stinger, whose brother played Beastmaster, I think.
Yeah, wasn't she also? Was she also the girl in Flashdance? Or not Flashdance, but Footloose.
Footloose? Yeah.
Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I'm surprised I remember that. Alright, so we just got a couple of pieces here. We're gonna glue these onto the edges. I've got dog hair everywhere. Alright. It is funny how there's some movies you do think it's like, I'd like to watch this. And you're like, I don't want to ruin this. I'd rather keep the fond memory than ruining it with reality. Like watching
Mark Singer is her brother. He's Beastmaster.
Okay, yeah. And that is a movie. That's actually a movie that I'd like to watch. I picked that one up here. I own that one. That was a movie that I really enjoyed as a child. Alright. I really want to glue this on, but I shouldn't. Alright, so we've got that. So while we're waiting on some of these other pieces to dry, let's take a look and see if we can do these blinds. We're going to do some blinds at least on the side windows. Thinking of some outside blinds. So what would be good blind material? I could use actual cloth, but I don't think I'm gonna. I wonder if we were to use something like we have these like no slip things. I wonder if we could cut some of this stuff out. Use it So I'm going to just cut a swath just to play with and see. Alright. Let's go ahead and cut a whole larger swath of this.
You said you hadn't seen SeaQuest?
The TV show?
Yeah, the series.
I knew of it because that was the one with the a talking dolphin and the kid that had killed himself in real life, right?
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
And didn't it
He
have
was
Roy Scheider?
Christian
I think was in it
Schneider.
as well.
Yeah. Scheider? Is it Snyder or Scheider? Scheider. Jonathan Brandis.
Okay, that was the kid.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
Yeah, he ended up killing himself in his 20s, I think. It's unfortunate.
Oh, he was in his 20s? I didn't think he was that old. I thought he was a teen.
I think he was in his 20s. He looked
like
he always looked really young.
Actually was.
Yeah.
He had the Vinny Del Pino syndrome. Or the opposite of the Vinny Del Pino syndrome, I guess.
I think he was in the second Neverending Story. Sebastian. That's his character name. He's in Sidekicks with Chuck Norris.
Yeah, you got a career kind of reminds you of was it Jonathan whoever from Tool Time, the middle child.
Oh yeah, crap, what's his name? He's the voice of the Lion King, the kid Lion King.
Yeah, Simba.
Simba, yeah. Character name was Randy. Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Yeah.
Home Improvement.
It'd be rough, man, to have a bunch of money that you earned as a child and then trying to figure out how to live your life as an adult.
Tater says we're starting the mental health minute off strong.
Alright.
Tron.
Tron. Alright, so cut our points here. Alright. So if we had something like
Elvira, Mistress of the Dark.
there's the Twilight Zone movie and also the Creepshow movie.
Gremlins, Critters.
Gremlins.
black hole.
I'm trying to think. I don't know if I've ever seen a black hole all the way through.
I haven't seen it since I was a kid. Name my dog Maximilian after the robot.
That was the red robot, right? The big red robot was Maximilian.
Yeah,
Evil.
the bad guy.
Alright. So these could work. I don't think I need. Three bunches, I think. I think this could work though.
Did you listen to that music video that I sent you about the Kona Exiles endowment slider?
No, I did not. I will have to try that. I did think that that's the only reason why you wanted us to play this Mount Your Friends game is because...
That's not the reason, actually, but that is funny.
is that I noticed that there was some dong
It doesn't
swinging.
hurt.
some crazy dong swinging.
Did you have anything for Mental Health Minute today?
You know, actually, I did have. I had just something that my brother used to say to me all the time, and he used to say,
It's probably a lie.
Yeah, that's true. So do your own fact finding. He used to say that the main thing is to maintain your cool. And I know there was something that made me think about that the other day, and I started laughing. The main thing is to maintain your cool. And I was thinking about that kind of in the context of mental health minutes. That a lot of times it seems like if I'm having a moment of crisis, that is that the main thing is to maintain my cool. So if you're having a freak out moment, and it's just that it kind of goes back to that as it is right now is not how it will always be. And whenever I'm having moments of crisis, say, with anxiety or depression, that's the way it feels, is that, this is how always is. This is the new always, right? You know what I mean?
Are you talking about COVID or what?
No, like if I'm having an anxiety issue,
Mm-hmm.
then and I'm having like an anxiety attack. It's like it feels like this is now the new normal, right? This is what it's always going to be. It isn't like this is. It's not like you have a headache and that's not the state of normal. That you have a headache and the headache's going to go away. When you're having moments of anxiety, it seems that you're having this thing where it's now like, oh, you've broken yourself, and now this is the new normal.
Mm.
This is how it's going to be going forward. That's what I'm trying to say. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I was thinking about the main thing is to maintain your cool. that.
Anxiety attacks are so odd. In that, like, you say your focus is so trained on kind of what you're feeling, the overwhelming experience you're having at that moment. It's kind of hard to try to think beyond what you're experiencing right then within the attack.
Yeah, I
To
agree.
be like, you know what? Okay, this will get better. Just calm down. It's not that bad.
Yeah. And I know that for me, you know, it's like an anxiety trigger is anxiety, right? And so trying to help break that loop tends to do me good. So that's one of them is just to try to have perspective on it and to realize, okay, you're just having an anxiety moment. It's all right. It's going to be okay. This isn't, like I said, this isn't the new normal, but it feels that way. All right. Our lacy windows, Randy. These are going to work, I think, actually.
Ooh, those are fancy.
Yeah, I'm fancy.
Those are bougie.
That mac and cheese looks bougie. I like it because I'm bougie. All right. Let's see here. Let's see if we get one more.
I've seen a few YouTube videos lately where I can't remember. They may have all been Daily Dose of Internet channel.
Okay.
There was a lot of nature photographers, like National Geographic photographers or whatever. They spend so much time with the animals, trying to get the good footage and stuff. And they don't interact with them. They maintain their distance and everything, but they have to let the animals get comfortable with them being there in order for the animals to act naturally and for them to be able to capture that natural activity. Sometimes, though, the animals take an interest in them, but they have to try to not react. So there's videos of like a seal coming over and like climbing on this guy and just like taking a nap on top of him. All this crazy stuff.
Oh, that's cute. All right.
I saw a thumbnail today for one that was like a little baby Arctic fox that was trying to play with the guy's camera. It's super cute.
And Carrie loves goats, so we talked about that.
Oh, it's been a long time since I've seen a goat video.
Yeah, she's a big fan of the.
I'm sorry, Gautier.
Remind me of somebody I used to know.
Wait, does she have a favorite go-to goat video that she rewatches? Or
Yeah, there was a couple of them. There was one where there's a reporter where a guy's like talking to a goat and he keeps spitting at him. So spitting, that's one. And there's another one where like these people are camping out somewhere and this goat comes up to him. They're sitting around a campfire and he has this conversation with the goat. And that one we talk about words that rub you the wrong way. This guy in this video really rubs me the wrong way. And it's like, I keep telling Carrie, it's like, I can't stand that guy. And she's like, what? They're just having fun. No, that guy's actually a jerk. And I don't like the way that he's hamming it up for the camera and blah, 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 blah. But that one is funny because he's like, you know, he's having a conversation with him. He's like, hey, meh, meh, meh. You know, it's one of those type of deals. I'm trying to think, there was something else that she was really goofing on the other day. Let's see here. Take these up a little bit. Make this a little bit smaller. But yeah, the goat videos are pretty good for for bringing up your spirits. I have this thing where I feel like, I'm not having the same dream over and over, but I'm having similar versions of the dream. And it feels like, I don't think it's true, but it feels like like it's a story that's progressing. And that there's some progress that would be made in that dream in context of the other dreams. But I think it's just a feeling, not a real, sort of thing. Does any of that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, I'll have dreams about my old high school. And they're not the same dream, although they often have similar sort of motifs. But, redo these, make them a little tighter. Yeah, and so I think that there's this feeling of dissatisfaction in that I'm having these dreams that I'm not able to accomplish my goals in them. But I don't really think there's any real goals to accomplish. It's just that sensation. Do you have dreams about your old school?
I used to. I don't remember my dreams anymore. Used to have very vivid dreams. I would have those, like you'd live the entire school day within the dream and then wake up and have to go to school. It's like, God damn it. I just did this. And then I'd have a couple times I had it where I would have the dream within the dream.
Yeah, those are all.
So it was a loop situation. It's like, oh my God, I've just been through this day. This is like Groundhog Day or something. But yeah, typically within my dreams, people and locations locations are usually an amalgam of different places a bit.
Yeah.
Like when you go into a different room, it's really a different place, like a different a house you lived in later than the house you lived in when you were in the room before you went into that.
I like to describe it as like if I was in a room and I spun 360, the room that I would finish in would not be the same room that I started in.
Yep, it can morph over time.
Yeah, it's like
and
you
then
can be
like
in one room
too,
and then you turn around, but it starts to become a different room. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah. People are like that too a lot in my dreams, where it's a person can be more than one person at the same time.
Yeah, or it's like this isn't this isn't my father, but in the dream I know they're my father, right? One of those scenarios.
Kind of like that.
It's like you're playing tonight. You'll be playing the role of my father
that as well.
or it can be one person, but they're representing multiple people, or. That as well.
Find your desk or your car in the parking lot. Yeah, I've had a lot of dreams about old jobs and stuff, Tater.
I can't find my desk. That's having dreams of working at old jobs.
I've had quite a few dreams about Crazy Lynn.
Yeah.
Making life difficult for everybody.
I used to. Those have gotten replaced now. But that used to be when I was working there. I kept having dreams that I was back working for her.
That's interesting. Finding desk. The ones that I...
That's what I was waiting for. No problem, buddy.
Crazy.
I'm here to make your day a little brighter.
Hey, things, just to give you a little perspective, things could be worse, right?
Sweet dreams tonight.
Yeah, what a nut job that she was. What a total nut job.
Just be glad you don't have to deal with it anymore. I know I am.
I keep having, when I have dreams about
old jobs. The thing is that I know it's like I haven't worked here in like forever, and I'm just going to show up.
Yeah.
And it's like that's the dream I keep having. It's like, oh, I haven't worked at the library in 20 some years, and I'll like show up to the library. Like nobody's going to notice. Haven't been here in years or months or whatever it is in the dream context of the dream.
It'd suck if you got stuck in a multi-night dream loop about the library and you kept having to reshelve the same books, but you knew that you kept having to reshelve the same books, and you're like,
That does kind of feel like a Twilight Zone sort of premise.
Although, actually, I mean, that's
kind
of what the job was in a way. Like,
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So,
Well, then I think that's it, though. It's kind of it's a putting a lens on the monotony of the day to day. That's why it's a good starting premise, because it's like it's kind of like in Shaun of the Dead, right, in the beginning, where even before the zombie apocalypse is hit, people are still kind of zombies. There's that kind of thing.
That'd be a good one too. What's the other one that they did?
All of those. Yeah, all the Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah, the one where they do the pub crawl.
World's End.
World's End or whatever.
I think it's that one. All right. So if we do something like, let's take a look here and see what we got. At least we're not, no matter what we got going on, at least we ain't taking orders from that crazy kook.
Is that a grip pad that you used for the?
Yeah.
Nice. A little Dollar Store grip pad.
Yep. Just
Made some fancy lace curtains.
yeah. So I just got to figure out how I want to fix these. Can we please stop talking about her? Yes. Absolutely.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Yes. Have you seen her?
Who would you rather talk about?
Have you seen her ass?
Big L.
It is very tremendous. It is very tremendous. We worked with a guy, and where was he? I know he's from Africa, Randy, right? I don't know what part of Africa he was from.
Yeah, I don't recall exactly where. He had family everywhere, though, I think.
He had a really wonderful accent.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd always want to come up and talk to you. And
I think he had a master's degree in mathematics or something.
that's crazy.
Which
Oil
went
changes.
wholly unused in our job.
His oil changes. I forgot that was his euphemism.
Oh, yeah.
Getting his oil changed.
Sure. Where is it? Canton or Akron he drove to for his oil changes.
But I remember one day, and he was talking about the gingers, the gingers of the sodas. Like Dr. Pepper's a man, but Diet Pepsi is a girl, was a female. Yeah.
So, okay, I can't remember what it's called exactly, but a lot of languages have masculine and feminine aspects to their words. Like some words are considered to be masculine, and that changes like the article that precedes it. Like if you were to say the man
or la
or whatever.
Spanish.
Yeah, exactly. So apparently in French, vagina is masculine.
Yeah.
Can you explain this entire system to me? Like, why are some words masculine and feminine, and then what determines what? Because I'm confused.
Well, I don't know. That's interesting, Randy. There's yeah, I don't know. I'm deciding which direction I wish to proceed with this conversation.
I just thought you were going to come up with a nice little Parf-inspired thread there to go on for a while about exactly what it was.
Yeah, I was. Well, I mean, I think that it has to do with it's something not unlike penis envy, right? So it has to do with that.
Tater said, "Well, Randy, when a man loves a woman or whoever,
Whoever.
they have a special hug."
It's a special time in a person's life when they. I literally put this on the wrong.
You also said you'd never seen Bedknobs and Broomsticks, didn't you?
Yeah, no, I had not. Speaking of weird sexual deviancies.
That's not what that movie is about.
Yeah. In my mind,
That's
what
the whole.
it's about.
There's got to be. There's probably a version. That's disturbing.
There was a movie when I used to work at the library that we'd get in, and it was 8, the number 8, and then men, and then out. And I used to like to take it, and you just put your finger over the N on men, and you're like, hey, read this title. And so it's number 8. Me out. It's the simple things like that make life work.
Enjoying the simple things.
Yeah, simple pleasures are the best.
There's your mental health minute right there.
That's right. And that is how we do mental health minute. So I realized I put these cardboard pieces on the wrong things here. But there was just enough time to salvage them. I think. Alright, there we go. That'll work. And then we'll trim it up as need be. Okay, so that works. But yeah, Randy, I think that there's probably something to do with that about the well, yeah, why of all things, if you're gonna do male and female, why would the now? So then the question is: the penis is the penis in French? Is it masculine or feminine? Is it la
Pretty
penis?
sure it's masculine.
It's all masculine.
Oops. Yeah.
So we have that. We have to figure out. Depends on your kink. Yeah, fair enough.
I'm not going to Google it on my work computer. Sorry.
Yeah. And then is the butthole gender neutral? Is it the royal we?
Yeah,
The
I don't think the French have a
they don't have
gender neutrality within their words.
Let's see here. We took a look at maybe some of our picture hanging stuff. Maybe we'll have. Don't know what we're going to do. Taking a look to see if we can find other box. Something like these that were small. Let's see if there's a box that's smaller. Small, tiny little hooks. If not, we'll make them. Just making out some wire. Or we could fix something into like boom and boom. Some of these tiny little nails. Maybe. Let's see here. Alrighty.
Oh, apparently today is leave your office early day.
It's leave your office what? For good?
Leave your office early day.
Leave your office early. So, Randy, are you telling me you wanted to stop the stream a little early today? You gotta go get an oil change? Randy, you tell me that you need to leave early today to get an oil change. Is that what you're saying? It helps when you laugh at the jokes, Randy. Let's see if I lost Randy on the audios.
Oh, wait, I had to come back for my keys. I forgot my keys.
Well done, sir. Well played.
Are you still here?
Well played, sir. Alright. I'm worried about you. You're playing games.
I'm a scamp.
You are a scamp. Take some of our wire that we have here. I think this is the best thing for us to do is just to make a little holder.
Apparently Thursday is Hug Your Cat Day.
Huh.
So you may want to start practicing now if you have a particularly fractious cat.
Did you say fractious?
I did.
I don't even know what that means. Fractious.
Do your own fact finding.
Doing your own fractious finding.
Fractious means typically of children, irritable or quarrelsome. Or of a group or organization, difficult to control or unruly. So a lot of times when you get a difficult cat, like in a vet's office or something, they'll call it fractious.
Fractious.
A fractious cat.
That's good. That's right up there with persnickety. Alright. So I think we're going to make us just some little curlicues here. Like that. And then affix them here on the sides so that we'll have something for our curtain rods to hang on. So I'm just lining these around the thing here. Right. We need need 4 of them, so we'll make 5. Because one of them won't work or something.
Apparently, it's also National Rotisserie Chicken Day. Guess I know what I'm having for dinner.
I mentioned to you, I think, that here recently when we were doing some grocery pickups, we kind of got in the habit of picking up a rotisserie chicken from the grocery store. And I'd forgotten how good those are, man. Those
Can be
things are
really good.
They're totally yum, man.
And convenient.
Convenient.
And cheap.
Yeah, very cost effective. Very cost effective.
I totally agree with that.
Alright.
I have a problem, though. Like, it's nice to get one and you can eat some of it, and then you have to clean it all up and get all the little bits and pieces and save those and add them to different meals throughout the week or whatever. But I end up eating most of it while I'm sitting there cleaning it. So.
That's fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
It's like the point is to try to make it last, but it's like, yeah, no, it's gone.
No, the point of it is to put it in your mouth hole and enjoy it.
I'll just start getting a second one. So.
You gotta get it. You gotta get one that you can snack on while you. It's like having the fry,
exactly.
The fry that you can eat on the way home, and the fry you can eat with your sandwich.
Start eating the rotisserie chicken on the way home. I forget where I saw it. Somebody was talking about like what's the most crazy thing you've ever seen in traffic. I can't remember if it was a truck driver or what. How they had. But they were saying that they pulled up alongside somebody once and looked over, and they had a tray like connected to their steering wheel somehow with a full like KFC meal that they were eating while they were driving.
That's awesome. That is pretty fabulous.
That's dedication right there.
Yeah, you gotta want it. I mean, you've put some thought into this, you know. You didn't just say, "Oh, you know, you caught me in an odd moment." I mean, that was premeditated, right there. All right, let's see here. Trying to put some of these things here. There. We could, but that's. I need to glue them onto something that sticks out, though. Unless we put them actually on here. But I don't think that's how I want them. I want them further out. So we'll have to glue these pieces.
What day of the month were you having the usual D&D session?
Wednesday is our normal.
Of the month, which is first, last, middle.
We do every other. It's just an every other.
Oh, every other.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were just doing it once.
No, we were doing once. Really.
I need to look over. Well, actually, I need to make the new character if I want to start joining on that session.
Yeah. Yes, we'd love to have you join. So it's just a third level. You can make a third level, whatever you want.
Yeah, whatever. I'll do what I want.
Yeah, damn straight you will. So Randy.
And then I'll just hear, nope, can't do that.
Yeah.
Nope.
No. You see, it doesn't work like that. No. So.
That's not even remotely how that works.
Yeah, that's cute that you would think that would actually work like that.
Aw, isn't that precious?
Pumpkin. Alright, let me see here. Something like this, maybe? Yeah, something like that actually does work.
So we have to.
It looks like Humble Bumble has Human Fall Flat. They've got a 4-pack, 50% off. This means you get 4 games for $12.50.
Oh, wow.
That's cool.
Yeah, that is a good deal. Let's see here. If I do this. Mimic this. I think. Stem on it.
I saw in News Gaming that they were playing a game I hadn't seen before. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's like Headhunter or something. Headhunter, give me back my head or something. I'm not sure. But it's like those other games, like Human Fall Flat or Gang Beasts, where it's those type of figures with that type of kind of gangly movement, kind of wonky controls.
Really
But in this one,
games.
What?
You really sell these games. You know, with the wonky
fun.
controls
That's
and the gangly
part of the
movement.
fun of it.
And, I know. That's what's funny.
In a good way.
Yeah.
But in this one, the premise is that you have to try to rip off one of your opponent's heads, and then there's different things you have to do with it. Like one, you may have to like throw it through a portal, and that kicks them out. So it's like King of the Hill kind of style. But you have to try to wrestle each other's head away from the other. And then in one of them, it's bowling. So you have to knock down the bowling pins of the corresponding color to that player to be able to knock them out of the game with their head.
With their head. Randy, I don't think I like the messages that you're trying to share with the youth of today.
It's a cute game. It's cute.
I think that this is going to lead to people chopping up other people's heads and going bowling with them.
Later, Big L.
Hey,
Thanks
later,
for hanging,
man.
buddy. Always good to see you.
Yeah, man. Thanks for hopping in. I appreciate it. Stay safe and sane out there if you're going downtown. Sounded like he might be performing some civic duties. Alright, let me...
Stay safe, buddy. Some craziness out there.
Crazy. It is crazy too.
Love ya.
Oh, I got you.
I got you. Alright, so I think that we've
just made some pieces here. So the idea is just to kind of, I think, fix these in. And let's see if we can blue tack this just as a proof of concept. If we do something like that before we glue these in. Alrighty. And if we do something like this, and something like this, let's move this side.
trying to do? Grab one, face it to the floor. There it is. Oh. All right. Something like this. So something like this is what I'm thinking, Randy. Without the blue tack. Well.
Where'd you get that spool of like chain?
The spool of chain, I think I just got at Michael's.
Nice.
Yeah. I have some other chain as well. And it's not, I mean, like the cardboard is like right behind it, so it's not like it's as a big of a spool as you think. But
Gotcha. Yeah, look like a hefty amount.
But it's still, I don't know if it tells you how much it is or not. Nickel free. 11 yards.
Go a long way for D&D crafting.
Yeah, indeed. I might need to do like a little ribbon or something down here to kind of keep them from, I don't know if blousing is the word or not. You know what I mean? I'd like to have them, I think, more closed instead of more flared out.
Oh, you blousy. So blousy.
I'm blousy. But this is a rough idea, Randy. The rough idea that keeps failing. I think the key is that these have to actually.
I thought you
come
said you
out
were going to put
further away.
You still put flower boxes?
I'm gonna put flower blocks on the back. So I wanted curtains on the side, and then this is the flower box for the back.
Gotcha.
So I think to mention that, I like this idea these curtains, even if they're a little unwieldy. But yeah, I think we may actually move on to the flower box now. I think that we can do what we need to by just making some custom curtain rod holders, so we'll want to glue that up to where we can just let it sit. So since we want to work on the box, so if we let's pull out some of our flocking materials, I think. And actually, let us. So what time do we got it here? How you doing for time today, brother?
I'm okay.
So we're at our 2 hours here. I'm going to keep going on working on this box, but I don't want to keep you if you had places to be. But
I woke up at like 5 a.m. and got the dishes done and we got the trash and mowed the lawn and
nice. Nice.
I'm kind of stuck. Well, actually, I think let me double check and make sure. I was stuck because I was waiting for responses.
Waiting for responses.
Couldn't proceed until I got an answer. So.
Yeah, I like this flower box. Well, you know what? I think this might be a good place for us to break. I'm going to need to glue these wire things on to here. And then I'm going to need to Mod Podge the box and then affix it on. I'm not certain if I want to... I think I want to decorate it first before I glue it on. And before I do that, then I'm probably going to glue in a little piece here as well, so that I can stick some of those flowers in them. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and take a break, maybe grab a bite to eat, use the restroom, let the dogs out, and then come back and work on this, and then I can have some music going when I do that. So I'm
Cool.
gonna go ahead and hop off.
Looks like my response did come in, so
you got some work that you
I
can
got some work to do. Yeah.
But
I did just I bought a 4-pack of the Humans Fall Flat, so
okay.
we will be able to distribute that to anybody who's interested in playing.
Awesome. And just make sure that I think we covered everything. We did our Batman giveaway. We'll be making a box and shipping that out. We're talking about movie nights, D&D. I need to work on some custom items. We're working on our Gypsy Wagon still. Yeah, and then our mental health minute. So, yep, I think we covered what we wanted to. Thanks to Tater for hopping on as always. Brother, we appreciate you. We appreciate Pepka hopping on. It's always good to see LL and Tater or Shadow. I appreciate you, Randy. Thanks for hopping on, brother. Appreciate you so much.
Amen.
And everybody else who hopped in. I mean, we had different eyes in here. Appreciate everybody. And yeah, we'll be back on later this afternoon. So hopefully we see some of y'all's then. And if not, we will see you next time. So as the doctor's promise goes, never cowardly, never cruel, never give up, never give in. And then we also throw in, never surrender.
Live, love, love. Be safe, everybody.
Yep.
Stay healthy.
Let's hear some of that funky outro music.